and my humbled moment to be standing here in front of you. Because, in essence, you are also in front of me. So I would really like to appeal to everyone to just think for one moment about my tiara. Why and what a pompous person will come up and be so superficial after all the spirituality talk and wear a tiara? There's a reason. The reason is I'm comfortable in my skin. I love myself. Before I could learn to love myself, I couldn't love anyone else. Before I could learn to be comfortable in my skin, I couldn't be comfortable in the skin of anyone else. What do I mean by that? You know, I've heard it been said, and we've heard some life and death stories, but it's been said, and what I love with this sentence is, until you've given life, you cannot die. I have children. I love my children more than life. And so that I have felt life inside of my body, that I have had the honor to give birth to life, I now feel that nothing would be bigger than the opportunity I have had in this lifetime to serve. To serve who? To serve a greater power than me. And guess what? If that greater power wants to wear a tiara, it's got my guest. And I'll loan it mine if it ain't got one. But I came from a place where I looked at myself. I became pregnant when I was 16 years old. And that pregnancy was kind of tough for me. It was from something called a date rape. Can you please? Oh, there we go. These are my kids. That's my son Freddie with the t-shirt with a tie on it. That's my daughter Gingy. That's me. I changed my hair, but the core of me stays the same. And that's my son Ryan, who's now 19 years old. I adopted him at birth right here at home in America. Yeah, thank you. There's a lot of kids right here at home that need adopting too. And so whenever I speak to it, all the children of the world are one child to me. No matter where they came from, because they are God's children, just as we are. So my son Ryan, I adopted him at birth. And if you could advance that again for me, please, thank you. I always ask, please be a good example to the next generation. Act from love, not fear. It works in your favor too. So there's only two things. There's love and there's fear. And I don't much go for other people's definitions, although I do use my dictionary, my Funkin' Wagnall, remember that? Pegging laughing. Uh-oh, I'm dating myself. Well, me and Goldie Hawn, she's still ahead of me. But what I love is I do acronyms. Because acronyms give definition to words in my terms. And then I remember it. So hope, to me, I use an acronym. Happy. And I put I am before whatever, because when I speak it, I give it life. I've learned it throughout my little existence and spins around the sun. So if I'm going to say I am, it's going to be good. It's going to be hot. I am hope. Happy. O. Optimistic. P. Purposeful and on with possibilities. E. Hope. Ever evolving. You see, the woman you see in front of you today, she's not the woman I was last year, or even yesterday, or some time back. And I'm going to take you to the bare bones beginning. I'm born into a very simple family, but we had something, and it's an L word with 4 letters, love. My father was in his 50s, my mother in her 40s when she became pregnant with me. No fertility clinic, just a really cold winter. And I was the last of 5 children. Their first was a daughter, and she was married to a young man in the Air Force. So they were stationed overseas, and they were grandparents. And then my mother found out she was pregnant with me. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. And she said, what? Thank you, Lord. That's the kind of love I had. That's the kind of person I want to be. And I say every now and then, is that all you got? Bring it on. You know, we heard a lot earlier, some really good, cool little jokes, and some fun punches that we heard. You know, we had a wife, a southern girl. You know what they say? What's the difference between a southern girl and a northern girl? A northern girl goes, yes, you can. Southern girls go, yes, you all can. It's a time joke. You got to think about it. The point is we can laugh together. We can be, for this time, none of us could have tolerated being in this room as long as we have, unless we were called on purpose to be together, join our hearts, join our spirits as one. I'm not judging you. I refuse. And I pray that you come to know me on another level. I know that I'm kind of obvious. When I came up here, you took one look at me and you said, I bet she's a meat packer with a slaughterhouse. I know, I'm sorry. I never in my life dreamt of what God would put for me as an assignment. I mean, I always thought I would grow up, maybe be a hairdresser, maybe work in the beauty industry. Maybe I worked as a waitress. Maybe I'd have a restaurant. Maybe I'd marry a Prince Charming who would ride up on a white horse. But I never once dreamt that God would put in my path, first off, a date rape in high school that I became pregnant from. If we could advance from there, please. This is my daughter, Jackie. I had her when I was 16 years old. And guess what? That's her son. And isn't he cool? My little grandson. That's Marek. And that's what all the grannies are wearing now. See me in my hoodie holding my grandson? A lot of my girlfriends are having their first children, and I think that's beautiful. They're my age. But guess what? When I left high school, and I was in a Catholic high school, and I left as a teenage runaway after a date rape, I felt that I was the worst sinner on planet Earth. Only for a little while. People looked down their nose at me then. They get off a bus, they know where I'll be, why would you? I worked 3 jobs, I couldn't make the ends meet. So, at the end of 5 months, that little baby, waking up to feed her at night, falling asleep, falling out of the bed, I picked up the phone and I phoned social services. And I said, I'm 16 years old, and I need some help. I'm not stable. I need some help. The lady came, she took my daughter. I sat on the steps in my little flat, drove away, and I watched that car go, and something in me came alive. So I'd like to suggest to you, this too shall prepare me. And while I'm alive, I want to really be alive. So while I'm alive, I'm looking for opportunities in absolutely everything that happens to me, including this moment right now with you, to bring that spark in me into a fire. That power, that beautiful gift, because without each and every one of you taking your gifts to the world, I couldn't take mine. I need you. And I thank you. And this opportunity is huge for me. Can you move that forward, please? This was my husband's name, Fred Mitchell. He was the son of a very famous Hollywood actor by the name of Cameron Mitchell. If you saw the movie How to Marry a Millionaire with Marilyn Monroe, LuAn Mitchell, Betty Grable, that was my late father-in-law who was the millionaire. But the girl said, he can't be a millionaire, he's just a nice guy. Millionaires must be, you know, they had to be ignoramuses, I guess. You know? That's a movie back, I guess, the 50s.